Will a 94% efficient PSU help your components in the computer? That is the question of this video, so here we go. No español, my name Cho. ChatGPT said, a 94% efficient PSU power supply unit doesn't directly boost the performance of your computer components, but it does help your system in several important ways, especially for high-performance or long-running systems like yours. Here's how. What a 94% efficient PSU actually means. 94% efficiency means that 94% of the power drawn from the wall is converted into usable power for your components, while only 6% is wasted as heat. Example, if your system needs for 70 west, a 94% efficient PSU would draw approximately 500 west from the wall, whereas an 80% efficient PSU would draw approximately 588 W for the same load. Key benefits for your components. 1. Lower heat equals longer component lifespan. Less energy waste equals S internal PSU heat. Cooler system environment overall, which helps GPUs, CPUs, SSDs, and RAM operate under better thermal conditions. 2. Better power stability. High-efficiency PSUs tend to be higher quality, with better voltage regulation and ripple suppression. This translates to cleaner power for sensitive components, reducing chances of data corruption, especially during high disk I/O crashes under full GPU, CPU load, flickers, or instability in rendering tasks or AI computation. 3. Quieter operation. Less heat equals slower or fewer fan rotations. Better thermal control across the PSU means less noise in your overall system, especially useful in content production environments. 4. Energy savings. You pay less on your electricity bill, especially useful if you leave your system on for long rendering tasks or deep learning jobs. What it doesn't do, it won't increase FPS, rendering speed, or AI training speed. It won't unlock extra features in your GPU or CPU. It's not a performance booster, but it's a reliability and efficiency booster critical for high-end workstations. TL. Doctor, should you get one? Yes, especially in your case. You're running power-hungry GPUs like the RTX 5090, high-core CPUs, and long video rendering sessions. A 94% efficient PSU, for example, platinum or titanium rated, provides better system stability, reduced heat, energy savings, and helps protect your investment. Let me know if you want the best models at 94% efficiency titanium rated. You said, what will unlock features in my GPU? ChatGPT said, unlocking features in your GPU, especially a high-end model like the RTX 5090, can depend on several factors. Here's a breakdown of what actually unlocks GPU features and how to take full advantage of your GPU's capabilities in content production, AI, rendering, and editing. What unlocks features in your GPU? 1. Proper drivers. Most crucial. NVIDIA Studio drivers unlock enhanced stability and features for content creators. CapCut, Blender, Adobe, Resolve. Game-ready drivers are optimized for gaming performance. Using the right driver unlocks hardware acceleration in professional software. Tensor Core access for AI features. CUDA, optics, and RTX features for rendering. 2. Software support. Certain features are only accessible if your software actually supports them. CapCut/Runway may use GPU acceleration if the app is coded to utilize NVENC, NVDC, NVIDIA encoder, decoder. Blender, DaVinci, Adobe use CUDA, RTX ray tracing, tensor cores, and AI denosing if set up correctly. Unreal Engine/Unity fully utilize DLSS, ray tracing, and VR features. Make sure the software is updated to latest version. Configured to use GPU acceleration in its preferences, settings. Compatible with your GPU generation Ada Lovelace or Blackwell in the 5090's case. 3. Enabling developer or pro tools. NVIDIA Insight, CUDA Toolkit, Tensort, for unlocking full AI plus rendering performance in custom workflows. NVENC, NVDC for hardware encoding. Decoding used in OBS, Topaz, CapCut Pro. Overclocking or custom BIOS risky can unlock thermal or clock headroom, but usually not needed with a 5090. 4. Using the full bandwidth PCIe 4.0, 5.0 and PSU rails. Install GPU in the top PCIe X16 slot with PCIe 4.0, 5.0 and Use a high-quality PSU with dedicated 12-V port cables to avoid power throttling. Ensure your motherboard BIOS is not limiting bandwidth or undervolting GPU. 5. Professional SDKs, APIs, for AI. ML. Use PyTorch with CUDA, TensorFlow GPU, or for rendering, use optics, CUDA, or DirectX ray tracing DXR in your rendering engine. Bonus. Hidden or underused GPU features you may not realize exist. Feature how to unlock use case. DLSS 3. Frame generation, enabled in supported games or engines real-time previews. 3D design. Ray reconstruction, RTX remix available in supported software accurate AI ray tracing. Tensor cores used in AI tools like Topaz or PyTorch deep learning, super resolution. AV1 encoding enable in OBS, DaVinci Resolve, etc. Better compression than H.264. Dual encode engines use in multi-stream setups export multiple videos simultaneously. Recommended steps for unlocking 5090 potential. Install NVIDIA Studio drivers, update BIOS plus GPU firmware. Enable PCI Gen for 5ths in BIOS, set software to use GPU acceleration. Utilize tools like NVIDIA Control Panel and GPU-Z to monitor real-time usage. Consider developer tools like Insight, CUDA Toolkit, or Tensor if doing AI work. Would you like me to walk you through an optimized setup for your specific workflow, for example, AI video, CapCut, Blender? You said yes. ChatGPT said, great. Let's walk through a fully optimized setup to unlock every feature in your RTX 5090 and maximize performance for CapCut, AI video editing, Blender, 3D rendering, Runway, Topaz, long-form AI content creation. We'll divide this into 3 sections: system setup, software configuration, and advanced unlocks. 1. System setup, hardware and BIOS, motherboard, BIOS settings. PCI slot. Use the top X16 slot, ensure it's running PCIe Gen 5 or 4. Resizable bar. Enable this in BIOS boosts performance in some GPU tasks. Above for G decoding. Enable for larger RAM 5090 likely has 24 to 32 GB. Power settings. Disable power saving modes for CPU and PCIe in BIOS. Power supply. Use at least A1 OW120OW titanium rated PSU. Use 2 native 12V port cables or split from dual A pin connectors. Avoid daisy chaining. GPU power causes voltage drop. Throttling. 2. Software configuration. CapCut or Clipchamp. CapCut is partially GPU accelerated, but often CPU limited unless you use the desktop version, not browser. CapCut Pro desktop version. Go to settings, gives performance and ensure hardware acceleration on. High performance GPU selected 5090. Run CapCut in dedicated GPU mode via Windows settings, gives graphics, gives app, gives CapCut, gives high performance. Consider exporting to ProRes or HEVC to leverage GPU and VENC. AV1. Blender. Go to edit, gives preferences, gives system. CUDA. Enable 5090 under CUDA devices. Optics. Turn on for RTX accelerated ray tracing. In render settings, gives cycles, gives device. Set to GPU compute. Denosing. Use optics. AI denosing uses tensor cores. Blender's viewport, EV, and cycles render engines can all benefit from. DLSS frame generation for real-time preview. RTX ray reconstruction. Runway ML. Topaz. AI tools. Runway ML. Use desktop app or Chrome with GPU acceleration forced. Chrome gives Chrome. Flags gives override. Software rendering list gives enable. Runway auto detects GPU, but make sure browser has GPU acceleration on. 5090 is selected as high performance in Windows settings. Topaz Video AI. Go to Preferences, gives GPU. Select RTX 5090. Turn on Tensor, if available. Use AV1 and VENC export for best GPU-based encoding. 3. Advanced GPU features to unlock. Feature tool unlock method. DLSS 3. Frame generation. Blender. UE5 install latest drivers and Studio SDKs. Tensor. Acceleration. Topaz. Custom AI install NVIDIA Tensor SDK. AV1 encoding OBS, Resolve, Topaz use latest software versions that support AV1. Dual NVENC OBS, DaVinci encode to stream simultaneously with 5090. RTX Video Super Resolution Chrome/Edge turn on in NVIDIA Control Panel. CUDA and Optics Blender/Stable Diffusion, use via Studio drivers and select in-app press. Runway Gen 2, Gen 3 Longform MAI Video Max Out RAM, GPU RAM for longer sequences. Performance monitoring tools optional but powerful. GPU-Z, Winfo 6.4. Monitor power draw, thermal headroom, RAM use. NVIDIA Insight Systems, debug and optimize CUDA, Tensor Core workloads. NVIDIA Control Panel, set prefer maximum performance under 3D settings. Set power management mode equals prefer max performance. Enable G-Sync if using 120 to 240 Hz display for timeline fluidity. Summary: you're fully unlocked when GPU is in top X16 PCIe slot Gen 4 fifths, resizable bar, plus above for G decoding are on. Studio drivers installed. CapCut, Blender, Runway all using the 5090. CUDA, Tensor, Optics, AV1, and NVENC, DEC fully active. AV1 and DLSS 3 available in supported apps. No power throttling from